It is a wonderful day for Yu-Gi-Oh! As we are going to be watching an exciting match between full-powered Zoodiac versus full-powered Orcust. Now, both of these decks will be forgoing the Forbidden List, playing the best possible strategy at their current dominance, at the hype of their existence, to see which one was the better Tier 1 deck. Zoodiac will be playing, I guess both decks will be playing in a Master Rule 5 sort of fashion, as Zoodiac will not be using the extra monster zone, no need to use the extra monster zone, and Orcust will be using the extra monster zone for link plays. Orcust starting off with Armageddon Knight and Vishudo to make the Nightmare Phoenix into the monster that is most popular, the card that everybody misses, Nightmare Mermaid, discarding an Orcust Harp Horror to be able to special summon an Orcust Nightmare from the deck to the side of the field. The reason why Orcust was so dominant in 2019 because almost any two combination of cards pretty much equaled full Orcust combo, and even with the banning of Nightmare Mermaid, the deck is still powerful because it can still plow monsters to the side of the field. Using both Orcust Nightmare and Orcust or Nightmare Mermaid, those two monsters are going to link summon into Galatea, and now we can start off with some fun Orcust combos. What we really liked about the full-powered Orcust deck, and even Orcust now, is that the deck is unhand-trappable. There are no choke points for a full-powered Orcust deck, and you guys will be able to see later in the video that the choke points that seem to be there aren't really there. Orcust Harp Horror is going to be the next card to be activated, allowing a special summon of Orcust Symbol Skeleton to the side of the field. And it looks like those two monsters will be used for another link summon into Summon Sorceress, a monster that some players may miss in their strategy. Now Symbol Skeleton is going to special summon back that Galatea, and now Galatea will be able to use its effect, but not before the effect of another Orcust monster. Orcust Nightmare is going to activate her effect to be able to send a Dark Machine from the deck to the graveyard, and normally in your sequence this is where you would send a Gizmek or a World Legacy World 1. But in this particular situation, Orcust is going to do this a little different. Sending an Orcust Harp Horror from the deck to the graveyard this time around only indicates that there just might be Gizmek or World Legacy World 1s in Orcust's hand. Now using the effect of Galatea, they're going to go ahead and activate that Orchestrated Babble, which now makes all of those Orcust monster effects quick effects. This could be really good for Orcust and really bad for Zoodiacs. Summon Sorceress is going to follow up by using her effect on said Galatea to be able to special summon a Dark Machine monster to the side of the field. That monster is going to be World Legacy World 1, and now Orcust can continue on with the combo, making Dingirsu to attach the Symbol Skeleton, and then all three monsters for a link summon into Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish. Now, we're not a huge fan of playing Rusty Bardish in Orcust. To be honest, it's clunky, it's slow, it has bricks, but this is something that you guys want to see. You guys love Orcust Phantom Knight for some reason because of the Outer Entity Azathoth lock, but against other Battle of the God decks, it's not as good. Regardless, this time around, it's going to be a little bit different of a variation. No Cloak this time, as Boots is going to be sent to the graveyard, but it's actually going to be met with its first problem, its first choke point. If you guys want to stop the Phantom Knight's Orcust deck, you have to stop the Rusty Bardish. At any given cost, you have to stop that from popping off. Unfortunately for Zoodiac this time around, Orcust has the answer, as now it will be able to activate that Orcust Brass Bombard to be able to special summon an Orcust Harp Horror to the side of the field. And no, those two monsters can't be used for a link summon, but it almost does not matter, as in the graveyard there is a World Legacy World 1 banishing itself to be able to special summon said Harp Horror back to the side of the field for an Exceed play. Those two monsters will be used for the Exceed summon of Time Thief Redoer, which pretty much the entire combo is here. There's the Dingirsu in the graveyard, there is your face down rank up magic, and now the deck will be able to pop up with Azathoth on the opponent's turn. Orcust seeming to not have any additional plays after that. I think this is going to be the end phase of their turn with Time Thief Redoer coming back to the side of the field, and that being it for the Orcust. Now, Zoodiac just so happens to top deck the sauce with Twin Twisters being activated in the standby phase. That's going to be able to destroy the rank up magic as well as the orchestrated babble before it can turn Time Thief Redoer into an Azathoth. Keep in mind, the rank up magic must be activated at the start of the main phase, so a well-timed Twin Twisters can stop all of that. Orcust Symbol Skeleton is going to be activated in response while it is a quick effect, as well as an Orcust Harpoor. Now, it seems that the Symbol Skeleton is going to be able to spell summon the Dingirsu to the side of the field. Excellent choice. And the Harpoor just might special summon an Orcust Nightmare. Now, the reason why Dingirsu is such an excellent choice is because it can attach a obvious banished card back to itself, which would be probably the Symbol Skeleton. But even more importantly, this deck, the Zoodiac deck, struggles with actually breaking boards. It can do a lot of crazy things, but breaking a board is relatively hard for the strategy to do, especially if all of the monsters are just outright stronger. Trident can only stop one. Unfortunately for Orcust, Zoodiac just so happened to have the Forbidden Chalice, so while this board still will be really hard for Zoodiac to break, the Forbidden Chalice will guarantee that it won't take 2 disruptions to wipe a board. Following up, Zoodiac is going to normal summon the Zoodiac Rapier, using Rapier's effect to send a Zoodiac card from the deck to the graveyard, and now following up on its combo, being able to use the Zoodiac Rapier for an Exceed summon. Keep in mind, this deck does make 1 card Exceed summons into Zoodiac Borbo, and then another Exceed summon into Zoodiac Tiger or Hammerkong. Now it can detach the Borbo to be able to special summon a Zoodiac Rapier back to the side of the field. Players in the TCG have always wondered how powerful would Zoodiac be if Rapier was at 3 and Chakanine and Hammerkong were available. Well, now in this video, you get to see a legitimate full-powered Zoodiac deck in Master Rule 5, so it's pretty awesome. Zoodiac Broad Bull is going to be special summon, detaching the Hammerkong to be able to special summon another Zoodiac monster from the deck to the side of the field. That monster of choice is going to be another Rapier, and it looks like some really spicy plays are going to be on Zoodiac's side. The huge problem still is disrupting Orcust's board, but I don't think that it is a terrible problem to have at this current time where they could have just lost all of their monster effects. Zoodiac Broad Bull is going to activate its effect, its second effect to search. That's going to search either a Luna Light, the level 2 Luna Light, but no, it actually is going to search a Zoodiac Whiptail. And it may just be because Zoodiacs already have the Fusion Substitute combo, using the Zoodiac Broad Bull for another Exceed summon into a Zoodiac Chakanine, detaching the Broad Bull to be able to special summon yet again. That monster is going to be set Broad Bull to the side of the field since there already is a target, and now we see Fusion Substitute. Zoodiac is the first competitive deck to actually Fusion summon for Elder Entity Norden properly, using the effect of Norden to be able to special summon Whiptail back to the side of the field. This is exactly what Zoodiacs needed, as a huge combo is going to happen now that they don't have to revive Rapier with the effect of Norden. So the Whiptail and the Elder Entity Norden are going to be used for a Daiguster Emerald, and what Zoodiac wants to do right now is fish for a disruption card. They need a way to break this board, because if they just leave Orcust how they are, then it's going to be a huge problem. One would think, oh yeah, you can just make your average, Zoodiac Whiptail with 2 to 3, or Zoodiac Trident with 2 to 3 Whiptails. Unfortunately for Zoodiac, that can only get rid of 1 monster. Orcust is just a faster deck. It makes faster plays. It makes huger boards. So Zoodiac does need some sort of board clearance, as well as being able to stop the Dingirsu consistently from protecting your Orcust cards to be able to win this matchup. Using both of those monsters for the Exceed summon of Zoodiac Broad Bull detaching another Rapier to be able to add another Zoodiac Whiptail. And now it looks like Zoodiac is in a decent position, as now the Emerald can detach the Norden to shuffle in 2 more Zoodiac Rapiers. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Zoodiac Rapier's effect it gives to a Exceed Beast Warrior monster is not a hard once per turn. So since Zoodiac Broad Bull already did use its effect when it was attached as a 1 material monster, it can still use its effect again to special summon Rapier, because it is an entirely new card. And another thing to talk about is that Zoodiac Broad Bull can actually be Exceed summoned as many times as you want to It can only be Xyz summoned once though using a Zoodiac Xyz monster. So yeah, this does create some pretty big leaps where Zoodiac can make some pretty dangerous boards and draw quite a few cards in the process. Shuffling can give it back. The Daigusto Emerald draw. It's probably going to be met. Whoa! The top deck, ladies and gentlemen. That top deck Emerald is going to be Raigeki, ladies and gentlemen. We have not seen that card come up clutch in quite some time. That is insane. Zoodiac, we're probably going to be able to draw into something eventually, but the Raigeki is the best possible outcome. Because Raigeki does destroy all of your opponent's monsters, Zoodiacs can now continue to build their board without problem. That Zoodiac Broad Pull is going to be made into a Tiger Motor. Tiger Motor to be able to detach the Broad Pull to attach another Rapier, and then use its effect to be able to special summon another Rapier to the side of the field. It looks like an Abyss Dweller is going to hit the board. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Zoodiac is in full control of this game. Being able to special summon that second Rapier and now use the effect of Fusion Substitute to draw an additional card. Does the madness ever stop with this deck? Will it ever stop with this deck? Are Zoodiacs still too strong for Master Rule 5? Both Rapiers are going to be used for an Xyz summon into that clutch Abyss Dweller. That will prevent Orcust from being able to use those graveyard effects during its turn. If the Babel was still on the field, it wouldn't really be that much of a problem, as Abyss Dweller would activate its effect, and then you can chain your Orcust monsters as Chain Link 2 to Abyss Dweller to special summon. So yeah, but now that the Babel is no longer on the field, Abyss Dweller is a huge threat. Monsters declaring an attack on Orcust. It looks like the Gizmic Orochi Serpentine Sky Slasher was in hand, is going to activate its effect to special summon itself. So that's going to stymie the attack of Zoodiacs. But still, they're in pretty decent control of this game. We already know a Zoodiac Dryden can hit the field and destroy the Gizmek Orochi, as well as have a Whiptail in hand for another disruption. And it looks like that Zoodiac Dryden is going to hit the field, and then the effect of Dryden may activate to destroy that Gizmek Orochi. It looks like, yes, it is to destroy the Gizmek. No, whoa, what's going on here? That's a huge opening. No, it looks like, yeah, no other follow-up plays. It looks like Zoodiac won't pass it or won't destroy the Gizmek Orochi. Orochi could very well just banish 3 cards from the extra deck to destroy a card on the side of the field. But what I've noticed when I come to spectate players is that they forget that effect. It doesn't like Orcust may have forgotten this effect this time around, but they normally do forget that effect. They just think that the monster just keeps bringing itself back. If this does go into history as both players just forgot that effect exists, then yeah, this would be one of those blunders that should have been made up for itself. The Dryden should have destroyed the Orochi, preventing the Orochi from using its second effect if it uses its first effect in response to the Abyss Dweller. And then, of course, if none of that happened, then, you know, Orcust should have just used Orochi's effect to destroy a card on the field. Not that I don't think that it matters, because Zoodiac does have quite a few cards in hand to just be able to break the board and go for game the following next turn. So it looks like Orcust is still in a pretty tough bind no matter what happens in this particular situation. Or Orcust just haven't decided to use the Gizmek Orochi and capitalize on Zoodiac's misplay. Normal summoning Neo Space Connector, they're going to go ahead and attempt to activate Connector's effect. That will allow it to special summon Dolphin, and this could put Orcust right back into the game. So the reason why I'm not a huge fan of Neo Space Connector is because after you already make the Nightmare Mermaid once, the combo becomes pretty much dead, and there's so many ways for Orcust to just get into that combo. It's like not worth it. And then hand traps aren't a thing. So no, it looks like the Aqua Dolphin was already banished through the Orochi. We are going into game 2. Game 2 is going to start off with the same Neo Space Connector on Orcust side of the field, being able to special summon that Aqua Dolphin. Now, there is a benefit to be able to playing this particular thing, this particular combo. You can actually get rid of Orcust cards to be able to get rid of important cards out of your opponent's hand. Normally, it was a hand trap, but this time around, Orcust is going to snatch a Zoodiac Rapier out of Zoodiac's hand, using both of those monsters for that Nightmare Phoenix and then eventually into that Nightmare Mermaid. this could be pretty good for Orcust. Also, for the discard of Nightmare Phoenix, it's going to be Danger Jackalope, so an additional monster will hit the side of the field. Orcust Nightmare is going to be specimen from the deck to the side of the field, as well as the summon of a Danger monster to the side of the field as well. It's going to be looking like Danger Susanoko, so yes, it looks like Orcust does have quite the opportunity to make some huge combos, and as we've seen in Zoodiac's hand, there was not really much to stop the particular combo. So yes, Orcust is going to pop off with its plays. You know, Orcust following up by using that Orcust Nightmare and the Mermaid into your Galtea. That's pretty much standard, ladies and gentlemen. Using the Orcust Nightmare to be able to send a Dark Machine monster from the deck to the graveyard. That's going to send the Harpor. Harpor is going to activate its effect, special summoning the Symbol Skeleton. Both of those monsters are going to be used for a link summon into your Summon Sorceress. Basically the exact same play that you guys seen before. Summon Sorceress not activating its effect, but it looks like the Symbol Skeleton in graveyard will to special summon that Galtea. And now Galtea will activate its effect to shuffle in the Orcust Nightmare, of course, to set the Babel back to the side of the field. And of course, Summon Sorceress will activate her effect, special summoning that World Legacy World 1 to the field. And Galtea will be used for an Exceed summon into Ningirsu. I do find it kind of ironic that Orcust do one card Exceeds just like how Zoodiac does. That's kind of interesting that you could just make a rank 8 monster using a Link monster this time around. Maybe in the future, Zoodiac will have something like that. Ningirsu will be able to attach the Symbol Skeleton. Now all 3 monsters will be used for a Link summon into Phantom Knight Rusty Bardish. And now Bardish will be able to activate its effects uninhibited. This time around, in this particular Orcust deck, there is no Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak. The reason why there's no Ancient Cloak is because Ancient Cloak does, it just leads to more brick cards, and that's something that Orcust already doesn't want to do. You can literally still go full combo and everything that you need without the additional brick card. And then in this particular build, you don't actually have that extra monster to combine with your Phantom Knight's boots. So it was just really redundant to like play 1-1 and then open one and have a really tough hand where you could just make this deck a little bit more consistent. But this time around, it almost doesn't matter as Orcust did draw the boots. This is where I guess you would be like, you got me right there. If that was a cloak, there would be 2 searches, but it almost doesn't matter. IV Masquerena is going to hit the field, and Shade Brigandine is going to be activated, followed by the World Legacy World 1 to be able to special summon said Orcust Harpor. Both of those monsters being used for an Exceed summon into Time Thief Redoer. Now, this is the ideal board for Orcust. Genuinely, you have your Time Thief Redoer. You have your IP Masquerena that can link into an additional disruption. You have 2 cards face down. We already know that one of those cards is going to be the rank of magic to prevent your opponent from activating monster effects. So it doesn't matter what Zoodiac does, they are going to be in trouble. Fire Formation Tinky is going to be activated, and it's going to be chained into the Phantom Knight Drink Up match, but a 3rd card, Maxi, is going to be activated in response to the Rank Up Magic launch. So Outer Entity Azathoth is going to hit the field, but every time Zoodiac, or every time Orcust special summons, Zoodiac will be able to gain an additional resource. Here's where that situation where you're like, does Maxi matter? Well, I kind of like to draw cards, and hopefully you can get into the card that you need. Now, Zoodiac won't be able to activate monster effects for the duration of the turn, but there is a silver lining into this. We know that Zoodiac actually has interrupted Kaiju Slumber, so it could just use the Slumber to destroy all monsters on the field. So yes, it looks like Zoodiac is debating on what it is going to do next. If you were to use Slumber right now, IP Masquerena would be forced to use her effect, or could be forced to use her effect. Her plus Azathoth can make a Nightmare Unicorn indestructible, but that's not really great. It doesn't seem like that would be the move right there, especially since the Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish cannot be used for a link. And on top of that, the Nightmare Unicorn could be better saved for just other things, you know, getting rid of an opponent's more important card. So following up, it looks like Twin Twisters is going to be activated, targeting the Orchestrated Babel. I would actually say this is more This is a mistake. I feel that the other face down card, the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber should have been used first. But no, actually, no. Now that I think about it, this may not be a mistake. This may be forcing Orcust to summon other monsters to the side of the field beforehand. So Twin Twisters is going to be activated on that Babel and the set face down. And that's actually going to prompt Orcust to use those banished cards, those Symbol Skeletons and that Harpor to be able to spell summon more cards to the side of the field. Then Girsu as one of the monsters, and the Harpor is going to be able to spell summon, as well as the Orcust Nightmare, giving the Rusty Bardish attack and sending a Dark Machine monster to the graveyard. So yes, it looks like that's actually going to give Zoodiac 2 draws, one off the special summon of Harpor and one off the Din Girsu. Now that I think about it, no, that probably was the move. That seemed like a better move, forcing Orcust to either summon monsters and give Zoodiac more time to respond with other cards, or giving them the opportunity, to get rid of the board, get rid of that back row without drawing any cards. So a Forbidden Chalice is going to be met on the Ningirsu again, and that is still really good. That Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is going to be able to activate, getting rid of all of the Orcust monsters and everything in between. It looks like IP Masquerader wants to chain her effect using those 4 monsters as a link summon. Orcust might just summon, it could be a Topologic Bomber Dragon, which would be solid. Wouldn't be able to activate its effects because Zoodiac can just avoid the extra monster zone. And on top of that, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber would destroy the other monsters. I do think that it is a mistake not to use IP Masquerader's effect during this turn, because the monster that IP would summon would be unaffected or can't be destroyed by card effects. But at the same time, it's like, what monster do you really summon? Maybe Orcust was saving that Link 4 monster for a different time. So it looks like that Slumber is now going to hit the field, and Orcust is just going to let it happen. They really don't care about losing the IP Masquerena to a monster that Dorgoran probably could just attack over. So no, I could see that happening as well. And now the Dorgoran can attack into the Gamma Seal, which is the only plausible card, and Gamma Seal really won't do much for Orcust. So yeah, you backtrack, it's definitely one of those micro decisions that could change the outcome of the game, but Orcust is still winning right now and probably doesn't want to give Zoodiac an additional draw. Instant Fusion is going to be activated to special summon Elder Entity Norden, and keep in mind, even though Azathoth wasn't on the field, Azathoth's effect still is in place, and even if the Slumber was used before Azathoth was summoned, Azathoth would still gain its effect anyway. So Abyss Dweller is going to hit the field, and that's going to be used on Orcust's following turn. It looks like Zoodiac just might actually still have control of this game, using Dorgoran to attack into the Kaiju and Abyss Dweller to attack directly. That's actually 2,200 damage by the Abyss Dweller since a water monster is on the field. So pardon the life points, he actually should be at 5,000 and not 5,500. One of the slight misplays you notice at post-production. And it's going to be the end phase of Zoodiac's turn. So during the standby phase, Abyss Dweller wants to activate its effect, but Gizmek Orochi is going to be chain linked to be able to spell summon itself from the graveyard to the side of the field by banishing 8 cards from the top of the deck. This is an excellent out to Abyss Dweller, as it is a monster that is stronger than Abyss Dweller, even if it did have water material attached to it. And while Orcust may not be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, it's perfectly fine. They won't have to deal with Abyss Dweller anymore, attacking over that monster, inflicting quite a bit of damage to Zoodiac, not the most, but just a decent amount, passing its turn. Now it's up to Zoodiac to be able to make a certain board a good board, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like that board is going to happen, as Dorgoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju, is just going to attack over the Gizmek. Please tell me that there is something else that Zoodiac can do this turn, as the deck seemed to have ran out of steam. Even with the Maxi drawing all of those resources, didn't draw the right resources as it seems. It looks like Zoodiac is definitely trying to figure out a way to get back into this game, but that Azathoth preventing those monster effects from activating prevented Zoodiac from getting into its effects. And as we know, Zoodiac is a small engine deck. If you draw your engine cards, you need them to get other engine cards, and when they don't get under engine cards, you have to hope to top deck one of those cards. Passing it right back to Orcust, which don't have any problems once they set up. They're pretty much set for life. Using the effect of Orcust's Nightmare. Maybe not at this current moment, because if Orcust Nightmare were to use this effect right now, it would have to target an opponent's monster. But no, it looks like a Neo Space Connector is going to be used, and Orcust Nightmare is going to be used on the Neo Space Connector, giving it attack. Now, that means that Orcust is locked to only special summoning dark monsters for the duration of the turn, but it looks like they didn't have a Aqua Dolphin to summon anyways, as Orcust Harpor is going to special summon Symbol Skeleton to the side of the field. And now Symbol Skeleton and Neo Space Connector will be used for a link into Galtea. Now, we could see Babel come back to the field, but I mean, I don't think that that's really necessary. One thing I do want to point out is that this actually could be game for Orcust. They have a Gizmek in the graveyard, and they have a Dengirsu. Dengirsu is going to send the Dogoran, and the Gizmek is going to be summoned, so it looks like Orcust does see that opportunity to go for Deadly, as 8 cards are going to be banished from the top of the deck. And this is pretty much going to be game. Orcust clawing their way back into this game, forcing a game 3. But Zoodiac has the opportunity to go first this time. Zoodiac normal summoning Zoodiac Rapier to the side of the field, using its effect to send a Zoodiac card from the deck to the graveyard. This time around, its choice is going to be a Zoodiac Whiptail. Not the normal Zoodiac trap card, Zoodiac combo that you would see, because this deck is about to pop off. Using said Zoodiac Rapier, it's going to make a Zoodiac Borbo, then the Hammer Kong. Hammer Kong detaching the Borbo to be able to special summon another Rapier from the deck to the side of the field. Battle of the Gods is amazing, as now the Hammer Kong is going to be used for another XC summon in the Broadpool. Broadpool detaching the Hammer Kong to special summon a second Rapier, or the third Rapier, however you want to see it. And now Broadpool will be able to use its effect to detach again to search a Beast Warrior from the deck to the hand. Taking full advantage of that, they are going to detach the third Rapier, or the first Rapier, however you put it, to add Lunalight Black Sheep from the deck to the hand. For the people that don't know, Lunalights were good before Lunalights were good. Making the Zoodiac Chakanine to special summon the Broadpool, it looks like it's going to follow up by using the Lunalight Black Sheep to add Fusion Substitute. And now there are 2 monsters on the field that can be fused. So both of those monsters will be fused into an Elder Entity Norden. Norden's effect will add from the deck, or will special summon from the graveyard to the side of the field, that Zoodiac Whiptail, not the Rapier. Really important that you don't use the Rapier in this combo. I mean, you don't necessarily need, like, you can still summon the Rapier and use it for the combo, but it becomes a lot less explosive. Let's put it that way. Now that Norden and Whiptail are on the field, both Rapiers will be used for an XE summon into Broad Bull number 2. Broad Bull, Norden and Whiptail for the summon of Diagusto Emerald. Emerald detaching the Norden to return the Black Sheep, the Rapier, that's interesting, and possibly the Broad Bull or the Chakanine. That is interesting that you didn't want double Rapier back into your deck. This might mean that Zoodiac has something else up its sleeve, as opposed to the standard combo to be able to put another rank 4 on the field just by using Broad Bull effects. So they're going to go ahead and shuffle, offer to the opponent to draw a card from Diagusto Emerald's effect, and Fusion Substitute will now be able to gain another draw by banishing itself and putting Norden back into the extra deck. So Fusion Substitute is going to get the Zoodiac deck another draw, and Broad Bull will use its effect to detach to special summon a Rapier back to the side of the field. Or no, it's going to detach to search the Lunalight Black Sheep, my apologies. Black Sheep's effect is going to add Fusion Substitute again. Okay, I see what Zoodiac's trying to do. They're going to probably Fusion Summon again, which is really just insane, ladies and gentlemen. This deck could probably do this forever, as Broad Bull will use this effect to special summon Rapier number 3 from the deck to the side of the field. This was some ingenious by Zoodiacs. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And now Fusion Substitute again fusing the Broad Bull and the Diagusto Emerald for the summon of Norden number 2, or number 1, however you want to say it, to be able to special summon that Whiptail back to the side of the field. There is so many cards in the graveyard, using both of those monsters for an exit summon of Diagusto Emerald. Detaching the Norden again, and this is going to be able to shuffle at least the Diagusto Emerald back into the deck, which makes a pretty much an endless loop of monsters being able to continuously special summon monsters. So it looks like Emerald, Rapier, and possibly Rapier again. No, Emerald Rapier Broad Bull back into the deck. That's going to go ahead and shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Draw an additional card. Man, zoos are swimming in card advantage right now. This is crazy. So they're going to draw 2 more cards, one from the Emerald, an additional one from the Fusion Substitute in the graveyard, and still have Norden back in the deck. So yeah, Fusion Substitute being able to draw that additional card by putting Norden back in. And it's crazy that that Fusion Substitute is not once per turn. Like, some of these card effects should be hard once per turns. That Norden, keep in mind, should be in the extra deck due to Fusion Substitute. And it looks like Zoodiac is trying to figure out what is the rest of the complications of said combo. Returning the Norden to its said place. And hopefully at least an Abyss Dweller Trident is going to be made out of all of this. The Tiger Motor is going to be summoned, detaching the Rapier to be able to spell summon another Rapier to the side of the field. And this is, wow, this is really good for zoos. What can they do to follow up? It looks like a Zoodiac Barrage is going to be activated, destroying the Barrage, attaching it to the Tiger Motor to be able to spell summon another monster from the deck to the side of the field, and Zoodiac Whiptail again. So there's your 2 level 4 monsters, ladies and gentlemen. This deck pretty much drew into its combo, using both the Rapier and the Whiptail for the summon of your Abyss Dweller, and now the Tiger Motor has to be going into the summon of your Zoodiac Trident. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. That is a pretty flush board for Zoodiac, as they have 3 Xseed monsters on their side of the field. Abyss Dweller being able to prevent those graveyards, Emerald being able to get more advantage, Trident being able to get a pop, and it looks like 5 additional cards in hand with 2 cards face down. How can Orcust beat a board like this? This is crazy. Zoodiacs are still insane in Master Rule 5. If everything were on lock, they would be a tier 1 deck. Passing the turn, Zoodiac is going to use Abyss Dweller on standby, detaching that Zoodiac Rapier. What can Orcust do to a board like this? Orcust definitely thinking about their sequences. Bet they wish they played hand traps at this point in time. There are actually some choke points with Zoodiac, unlike, you know, oh man, that's just insult to injury, as Maxi is going to be activated to the Danger Susanoko. And that's just no bueno. Orcust wishing it had its hand traps at this point in time. But yeah. So it looks like if Danger Monsters are summoned, Zoodiac wins. And if Danger Monsters aren't summoned, Zoodiac wins. This is not the Danger game you want to be a part of. Danger Susanoko being hit and hitting the graveyard. It cannot activate its effect to special summon. But it looks like another Danger Susanoko is going to activate its effect. And playing the Danger game again, Zoodiac looking into another summon. It's going to hit the Nessie. Nessie won't be able to activate its effect, but Danger Susanoko will be summoned to the side of the field, which unfortunately gives Zoodiac another draw card. Now, Danger Nessie being activated, we can assume that that was drawn off of the Danger summon. 2 cards left in Orcust's hand. They're dwindled in advantage, can't activate any of their graveyard effects. They can only hope for the best. As Danger Nessie is hit off of Danger Nessie, oh man. But Orcust Symbol Skeleton is going to be normal summoned. No, it looks like it's going to Monster Reborn a Danger Nessie. No, the Symbol Skeleton won't be normal summoned, as Susanoko and Nessie will be used for a Link summon, giving Orcust or Zoodiac another draw into Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix to discard said Symbol Skeleton to try to poke at some back row. I guess they can attack over Abyss. They can attempt to attack over Abyss Dweller and pass. I don't really see it. Discarding 1 card. Targeting one of the face down spell or trap cards. They are going to hit a Zoodiac combo, which means it's just going to attach to the Trident and give Trident a little bit more power. It looks like a Whiptail might be attached to it, which doesn't mean anything. Nightmare Phoenix trying to attack into Abyss Dweller, but it's going to be met by the Zoodiac Trident, ladies and gentlemen. This game is over. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. And if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have so many awesome rewards. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.